And welcome back to my channel. My name is Mommy and this is Unisport. If you're coming here for the first time, you're welcome. You want to click on the subscribe button and on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. You know what I do? I do book reviews, share from the word, and also share life experiences that you and I will learn from. So today I am sharing with you quickly on what happens when you sin again. What happens when you sin again? So there are five major things that I've highlighted that from personal experience, right? When we sin, right, one of the things that I noticed, like each time I do what I'm not supposed to do, one of the things I noticed is that, you know, that feeling of God has left you, right? I do have that feeling, and I know it's actually like a general feeling. Like every time we commit sin, we feel like we've just jumped from the very heartbeat of God to the bottom of the ladder. So in our journey with God, it's more or less like we're climbing a ladder, and then when we do something that we know God is not happy about, that God does not want us to do, we drop to the very bottom of the ladder. And that's not good enough, because you know the Bible says that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous runs into it and are saved. But when you drop to the bottom of the ladder, it means that you've just left the heartbeat of God, and then when you're there, you're not safe, right? So you begin to have this void feeling. You begin to have this feeling of not okay, like not good enough. You have the feeling that God is now very far away from you. So you see why you should not sin, and pray to God for strength every time you have the temptation to commit sin again. Another thing that happens is you lose your courage to go to God to ask for anything. So when that happens, like whenever you sin, whenever you commit sin, another thing that happens is that you lose your courage. You know, the Bible says that let us come boldly to the throne of grace. But when you commit sin, when you just committed sin, like you feel like you're not worthy to go to his presence, you lose your courage to go to God to ask for anything, you know, and that is not good enough for you, because there are some decisions you need to make right here and now. And so you need to be conscious of living a holy life, because when you are not in tune with God, you cannot make decisions that will be in tune with his will for your life. Yes, you're confused. Yeah, that's the word. Sin brings about confusion. And so you see, another reason why you want to avoid committing sin, another reason why you want to run away from temptation and really pray for grace every single time the temptation to commit sin comes. Another thing that happens is that it affects your strong belief in the goals that you have set out in faith. Right? Say for instance, you know you don't have all the resources you need for a particular goal, but you set out to do it in faith nevertheless, right? And then you keep, like, every step of the way, it's faith that carries that particular stage. However, when you commit sin, you know, you just lose the courage, fear sets in, you begin to doubt, you begin to ask questions. Can I do this? Is this really going to work out? You know, you begin to fear. Meanwhile, this is not so. It's not going to be the same when you have been living a righteous life, when you have been very conscious of pleasing God, of living a life that is godly, right? It is not, you have a stronger faith when you're living at the center of his will, when you're pleasing him, you know, when you're living a righteous and holy life. But once you commit sin, you see that you lose your courage, you cannot really do some things. Like, so you begin to fear when you discuss things with people, and you know your mentor says you can actually do it. You don't have to have all the resources to start, you know. You just need to take it one step at a time. You will not have the courage to do it because you're scared. You feel like, God provide. I'm not sure, you know. There's just a way, like if your heart is not in tune with God's mind at every single point, so that you're scared every time there's confusion, right? Another thing is that it affects your social life as a believer. You become either an introvert. You just strangely become like an introvert. You just withdraw in a way. You feel like you're not on the same level with other believers. You feel like some other believers are more holy than you, you know. So you see, or some people become an excessive talker. These people are naturally like introvert, but you might not know, but because of what is going on with them, they begin to talk more, they begin to talk without thinking first. So sin actually is not good. There are other things that can actually make you become like an introvert or an extrovert all of a sudden. There are other things. Stress can also cause that, but when you just committed sin, you feel like in a way you feel you have to explain yourself like someone, and this is not always so like before. You feel like you should not talk, like you just want to withdraw. You see, sin can also cause that, and you don't want to be that. You just want to be yourself every time, every single time. You want to always bear the mind of God. You want to always communicate, and you're interested in knowing the heart of God at that particular time, right? So you see, another reason why you should avoid yielding to temptation. Okay, you also discover that some things just get to you naturally. They don't get to you because you feel like, excuse me, right? What you think does not matter. It's what God thinks about me that matter. But maybe whenever you just commit a sin, or whenever you just yielded to one temptation, you see that some things just begin to get to you, and you begin to feel deeply, unusually deeply. And lastly, it affects the progress of the unit where you serve in your local church. So you see that when you sin, it doesn't just affect you alone. You should also consider what the implication is going to be on the unit where you're serving in your local church. Remember Achan in the Bible that committed sin, and then it affected the whole nation. So you see that, say as a technical member, you see that some things just begin to develop faults, some things just happens, and you just feel like, this thing, we just got this actually some month ago, we just got this, why are they all acting up? It's because of one person's sins. It might not be the case like all the time, but you should also consider that it may affect the unit where you serve in your local church. I hope we're blessed by this one. I meant it to be a short one, and I hope it's short enough. So I come up again for another amazing edition of reviews on Unisport. I like to stay blessed and keep living a holy and God-pleasing life. Bye.